Okay, so let's try this again. I love Samhain because it's the time of year where you honor lost loved ones. You can um, put a place at the table for your lost loved one if that's what you're into. I have done that in the past and done like a little ritual and had candles and the favorite meal, favorite drink, whatever. I've done that before. It's pretty cool, pretty calming, things like that, whatever. Um, I also like it because it is when you can connect with Hecate the best or the most, if that's your goddess. Um, the Hecate is the goddess of the underworld. She holds the keys to the underworld, I meant to say. She's very good at guiding you through dark times. And if you're at a crossroads, don't know what to do, that type of thing. She has been my deity since I was 3 years old, but I didn't know that until 2016, I want to say. So, yeah, she has been with me my whole life. So, I love that goddess. She's awesome. But this is information about Samhain. So, there's a really cool quote that I like by R.J. Schwartz. It says, Samhain is a time to remember our dead, but not to mourn them, rather to embrace their spirits and let their wisdom help us in our time here on earth. So I like to think of Samhain as a time to celebrate our lost loved ones, not to mourn them. So here's some information that I have about Samhain. These are my personal notes, things like that. So Samhain is on October 31st. A lot of people call it Halloween. It starts at sunrise to sunset on November 1st. The goddess changes her robes to mother to crone. So, this is a good time for shadow work and self reflection and self healing, self care, self love, all that good stuff, right? So, this is the darker months. This is when you're not really going to go outside because it's too damn cold. So, it's a good time for all of that self reflection and stuff like that. So, the sacred tree of the season is the elder and should never be burnt. The essential oils that you can use or wear is frankincense, myrrh, rosemary, cedar, and juniper. Excuse me. You can use other things that remind you of fall or smell like fall, like of course apples and cinnamon, pumpkin, sweet potato pie, whatever reminds you of fall, right? This is just like the main ones, right? So, colors that you can wear or decorate with would be orange, black, white, silver, and gold. You can even throw in red and yellow, like, the fall colors. Duh. Samhain is by far my favorite to celebrate. Not only is it honoring lost loved ones, but there's a feast, bonfire, games, and so much more. Samhain is a Gaelic festival marking the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter or the darker half of the year. This is about halfway between the autumn equinox and the winter solstice. This is a time to celebrate the dead with a festival and usually features a bonfire and communion with the dead. There's usually music and dancing celebrations called witches' balls in proximity to Samhain. There is a huge festival usually in Salem, Massachusetts, and in Scotland every year. I'm sure there are other locations, but these are the biggest. If you can't bring any of your potted plants in, then place straw or newspaper around the pots to help keep frost off of their roots. Feed the birds. They don't have any out there, right? There's not like bugs flying around and shit, so they need some help. Place a ball or empty plastic bottle in a pond so it doesn't freeze over. This is the resting season until Imbolg. So this is the end of the year for pagans. So keywords for this is endings, rebirth, letting go of things that no longer serve you, cleansings, divination, and hope. So another cool thing that I like to do in Samhain, or for Samhain, excuse me, is I have, like, a picture of lost loved ones, and I'll light a candle for each one, and I'll just kind of look at the picture and visualize, good memories or whatever that we had together. Um, I fix their favorite food, or I have their favorite drink. For example, my papa, he basically raised me, and his favorite meal was like fried chicken and mashed potatoes and gravy, biscuits and green beans, and of course, sweet tea because we live in the South. So I usually fix something like that. I don't really like to cook fried chicken anymore because it's a lot of extra stuff, but I try my best. So I place a spot for him at the table, kind of, visualize memories that we had together. Or sometimes I just go get like a thin crust cheese pizza from Domino's and get my playing cards out because that's what we did every Friday, right? We had like Pepsi or Coke or Dr. Pepper or whatever. And that's kind of what we used to do every Friday. So we would have a competition and I beat him like every time but one. So, so that's just my input on Samhain. That's the information that I have. Now, I do have my books ready. You know me, I got my books. So we have The Year of the Witch again by Temperance Alden. She has a little bit of information about Samhain. Let's see if I can get my place right. So Samhain is the harvest moon, first week of November, winter nights, Halloween, pagan New Year, first book on the dark side of the modern wheel of the year. So Halloween or Samhain starts on the first harvest moon you see in October and ends during the first week of November. So like I said, October 31st through November 1st. October 31st through November 1st. Okay, making sure I had that right. So her information that she has in the book is the thinning veil. So that means like this is going to be some heavy energy. So you might be in more, what's the word I'm looking for? You might be more susceptible to like absorbing energy from other people and things like that. But there's also things that will be coming to you, like you will be getting triggered or not really triggered. That's not what I'm looking for. You're going to have things from your past come to you to heal from, if that makes sense. So the thinning of the veil is a lot. It's more than what I just said. It's like way out there sometimes. But you also have messages to the spirit world. So I mean, you're gonna be getting signs, you're gonna be getting numbers and dreams and all kinds of stuff during this time. There's bleh, blah, blah, blah. Let me start over. Mythology of Samhain. There we go. Got it out. Rituals of Samhain. Dumb supper. Okay. So there's three is the number of the maiden, mother, and crone. Sorry, I got to read a little bit of this to try to make sense because I want to know what this is. So there's a lot of stuff in here, but course one would be homegrown creamy butternut squash soup and soda bread. Course two would be lamb Wellington with Brussels sprouts or asparagus. Course three would be berry atomus, berry cream parfait. Okay, so there's a three-course meal. That's basically what it means. Let's see. Sorry, I had to read that. And then homegrown creamy butternut squash soup has a recipe, how to make it, all that good stuff. Harvest ritual, and that's it. That's all she has for Samhain. So if you are interested in this book, it has a lot of information, but also not a lot of information. Like I want more in-depth stuff. I want stories and experiences and things like that. So if I ever find a book like that when I get time, then I will post it on here. That way you guys can look it up too and order it. So that's what she has. And then I have the Encyclopedia of White Magic, a seasonal guide by Patty Slade. I think I showed this with the last Sabbath that I talked about. So let's see what we got for Samhain. All right, Samhain. Okay, October 31st, we have the meaning of Samhain. Talks about when the veil is thin, like I just said. Bonfire nights, rite of Samhain, indoor preparations, goodbye to the old year. Has a lot of pictures in here too. New Year's Day. So let's see. Samhain symbols. It has like a dude standing on a scorpion holding a snake. I gotta show this. See, I don't know if you can see that good, but I was like, what the let's see. The Samhain tree, Samhain herbs, a recipe for Elder Rob. Has like some poems and stuff in here too. Has spells, Samhain spells. So there's apple peel spell, an Oxfordshire custom, to discover your sweetheart's true feelings. The oak apple spell, a divination spell, footprints for a lucky year, an old Samhain custom, and that's it. So let's see. I feel like it had like tarot cards for specific things in here. Let's see. The appropriate card is number 13, which is death, a card which can signify the end of one cycle and the beginning of another or dramatic change. See, I knew there was a tarot card with this. Okay. So, yeah, that's some pretty cool information in this book. I'm ready to dive in deep with this book, but I am currently reading another book, so I feel like I should finish that book first. So, since this is the end of the year for pagans, yes, people usually celebrate on November 1st as New Year's Day. So, I'm going to pull out some self-care cards just to give a little reading with this stuff. So, let's see. All right. Get my life in order here first. All right. Actually, I'm gonna try this. I don't know if I can do it, but we're gonna try. They're still kind of somewhat new, so they're still like sticking together and stuff. But I'm trying. I'm trying to shuffle them like this. Still not very good. Shuffling it. So I'm going to move this. This. So first self-care card is positive affirmations. So definitely use some positive affirmations during this time because it's a really tough time of the year. Sorry, I'm trying to get these cards to show. Yeah, that's not going to work. My bad. Thought it was going to work, but it's not. So during this time, you really want to encourage yourself and be positive for yourself during this time because it's going to be a lot of heavy energy, like I said before. You're going to need that healing, loving energy from yourself, and you need support from everyone around you, right? So, if you don't have someone that's supportive for you, then they need to go somewhere. Like, this is the time for that. And it's time to look at things kind of in the eyes or in the face, however you want to say it. Let go of things that are no longer serving you, whether that's a person, place, or thing, or whatever, right? So that probably came out harsh, but I didn't mean it that way. But it's the truth. Like, this is a time for that. Okay, so be positive, use those positive affirmations, maybe do a guided meditation or write a love letter to yourself, maybe on a daily basis, or maybe you can do like, I am worthy, or I am enough, or I am lovable, whatever the case may be, on a daily basis, and then write yourself a love letter like once a week or something like that. Just whatever you prefer. Okay. Write down those goals, write down pros and cons of it happening or not happening, or whatever the case may be. So, card number 2 is use your hands. So, this is a good time for that too. So, use your hands. Do some writing, do some kind of artwork or pottery or drawing or painting or typing or something, something with your hands. You need to do this during this time. So, card 3, we have movement. Okay, so I don't know if you guys like yoga, but it's very helpful. Okay, it has a lot of like meditations to go with it. It has a lot of affirmations and positivity that comes with it. It gets your body moving, and sometimes you even sweat, which is good for you. So that's one idea. Another idea is like kickboxing or boxing or playing a sport or going for a walk or swimming. You just need some kind of movement, right? And also another thing with this, not so physically demanding, is do some shadow work, do some kind of writing or go to therapy or something. Get something moving, right? Get those vibrations up, okay, in any way that you can, if that makes sense. So, now I'm going to do a tea reveal. So I know I just started this yesterday. Was it yesterday? With my last video, but I'm really digging it. I think it's really fun. So I chose this card earlier today, and it's cardamom tea. So boil 2 cups of water in a pot and add 4 cardamom pods. Take off heat, cover, and steep for 5 minutes. You can add honey if you need some sweetness, but it says to test it out first because it's not bitter and it's a cleansing tea. So I did this a little bit earlier, that way it would be ready for the video, but it just looks like water. It has, like, a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of green, but you can hardly see it, so it just looks like water. I have not tasted it yet because I want you guys to kinda see my first reaction, so to speak. I am curious about this because I like cardamom anyways. I use it in rice a lot of times with star anise, things like that, whatever. But, yeah, I'm super stoked about this. I'm super excited to try this, but I wanted to show you guys. I'm trying to, like, show you with, like, a white background so you can see the tiny bit of green, but, I mean, I can barely see it, so I know you guys won't be able to see it. So, let's try this out. Mm, yeah, I like this. I'm gonna be drinking the hell out of this. Mhm, mhm. Very good. Very, very good. Now, I can see somebody wanting honey in it, but I don't think it needs honey. I didn't put any in it, but I could see somebody wanting honey. But it's good to me. I like it. Mhm. Yeah, this is very good. Very good. You could probably add some other I could see, like, mint. I could see mint or, hmm, maybe, like, a tiny bit of lavender? Not much, but I could see some stuff being mixed in with it, maybe some cucumber or, like I said, mint, lavender, maybe some lemon. Lemon would be really good in it, or lime. What else? There was another one that I was going to say, but I could see adding star anise too, just a little. But, yeah. If you guys have any questions or comments or concerns, or there's something that you wanna see in the future, just let me know. Um, I'm kinda stuck on what I want to do as for informational videos next, because this is the last Sabbath or Samhain or Sabbath or equinox that I will be doing. I had an idea of maybe doing some more meditations, but it's kinda hard to do because 'cause got a baby and stuff, so it's kinda hard to time that. Um, but I will come up with something unless you guys have an idea. Also, with the pagan wheel of the year, you can make your own. You don't have to, like, follow what I've given you, right? This is just typical traditional pagan wheel of the year, right? So I just gave you the information that I have. Now you can come up with your own, let's say, of course, Alaska isn't going to be following like Imbolc and Star and Beltane and things like that. Like they probably won't follow those because they're more like spring stuff, right? Like they're not going to be following spring and summer holidays and stuff. So let's say in the South, you're not going to be following the winter stuff either because you're not going to be getting snow and stuff like that. Like it doesn't add up, so to speak. So just kind of whatever you want to celebrate and whatever you want to follow and things like that, you can make your own. So, I mean, if you want to celebrate strawberries coming in or oranges or whatever, right? It's your life. It's your stuff, right? You follow your own stuff. Follow your intuition. So, yeah, I'm thinking of doing information on the teas, like pull a card, do a tea reveal, things like that. I might do some meditations, maybe some sound healing. It just all depends on what I can do with my 14-month-old daughter, right? It's kind of hard to time and things like that. So I also thought about doing like deities or I don't know. I had another idea, but I really just don't know. Maybe some self-care practices with the moon phases. You guys just tell me what you want to see or throw some ideas out there, whatever the case may be. I will be happy to follow along. So I will see you guys next time for the full moon. I just wanted to do this Samhain information thing ahead of time. That way you guys have the information and you can start planning and kind of do what you want to do, right? So, with that being said, I will see you next week for the full moon reading. I was going to say in something, but I haven't done my research yet. So, I will see you next week. And thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.